Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rachna Joneja. I am a home science teacher, and I have an experience of more than 25 years. I've been teaching senior grades from 2018, and I have overall experience of 25 years in teaching. I was a primary teacher, but now I'm teaching home science. So I'll be talking about the importance of home science in today's scenario. So now everybody is confused about home science because most of the people feel that home science is a subject which is only for the children who only for the girls, and they think that it's only about cooking. So there is still lack of knowledge about this subject because this is an important subject. I think it has to be taught to everyone, especially in the children who are in their middle school years. So since boys were not getting enrolled in home science, the nomenclature of home science was changed by NCERT and CBSE in the year 2019. Now the question here is, what was the need to change the name of the subject? Subject name still remains the same, but the textbooks which the CBSE has prescribed now, their name has been changed. Now home science is called as Human Ecology and Family Sciences. The name has been changed because CBSE wants, or the NCRT people want, more and more children to enroll in home science because they have also realized that this is an important subject where the girls and boys both should get enrolled. Earlier, this subject was only meant for girls. At least people used to feel that this is a subject which is only about cooking and girls should get enrolled in this. So, thinking about today's scenario, the name of home science has been changed to Human Ecology and Family Science. And this field addresses the sustainability, well-being, and the resource management, and it empowers the families to enhance their quality of life. So now, what is home science and why was it introduced? It's not a very old subject. It was introduced in the 19th century, 20th century. In between 1920 to 1945, under the British rule, homecraft and domestic science was introduced in some colleges, and Baroda was the first one to introduce home science as a subject. Then there was a home science college which was opened in Coimbatore, from where, and it was introduced for the children who were in the higher grades. And there was a key milestone which includes founding of Home Science College in Delhi, Lady Evan College, in 1932. The main aim of this establishment of the Lady Evan College in Delhi was to empower the girls, because in olden days girls were not allowed to go for higher education because they used to get married and they used to take care of the home. So there were some stalwarts who worked in this direction and made us introduced a college only for the girls, which were meant to teach the girls the basics of home, managing the home. It includes cooking, management of time, management of children, managing the finances, and everything related to home was a part of the curriculum in home science. And now we have so many colleges of home science all over India. And this is a subject which is recognized in the foreign countries also. The name or the nomenclature may be different here and in the other countries. Now the question is, why home science? Because I'm a teacher, children ask me, "Ma'am, why should we take home science?" Because everybody feels that home science is for girls, and boy, it's very difficult to encourage the boys to take this subject. Home science is a subject which gives us very important and magnificent tools to solve the problems of our daily life, because home science is the application of science. If you are studying physics, chemistry, or bio, and you do not pursue them in your college or the higher studies, these you will forget whatever you have learned in your physics, chemistry, or bio. But if you have studied home science in your school in the higher classes like in 11th and 12th, everything which you will be learning in home science will be used in your daily life. You will be practicing, you will be applying the knowledge which you got in this subject in your senior classes. It helps you to improve your personal lifestyle plus the professional. What do we mean by personal lifestyle and the professional one? We all know that We have to, whatever you become, you are a doctor, you may be a doctor or an engineer, or you are in any whichever field you are in, but you have to manage your home. By managing the home, I don't mean that you have to do everything on your own. Even if you have people working for you, you need to manage them. But how will you manage them? You will be able to manage them only if you know the manager, if you have the managerial skills, which you are taught in home science. You can take care of the ambience of your house. You can take care of your food and clothing needs. You can decide your menus. You can take care of your children. You can manage your finances there, because home science is an interdisciplinary subject. You can do a lot of things in home science, because home science is home science consists of 5 different fields, which we'll be talking about in the next slides. So it's very important for boys as well as girls to pursue home science, especially in 6 to 8 classes. Those who are interested may take it in senior classes also. But home science is not only about food. This everybody should know. These days, there are so many things which are happening around us. Home science has all the CBSE curriculum has also evolved. Now, when I was a student in school, home science was in handful of schools. We could see home science as a subject only in a few schools. But now I have seen that almost every school is giving the option of home science to the students of grades 11th and 12th, because everybody knows that home science is a subject which should be taught to all the children, because now the purpose of home science introduction in 1932 was to empower the girls. Why? Because girls used to manage the houses. In today's scenario, or in the present day scenario, we see that girls are managing the home as well as their offices, plus boys are also doing the same thing. So if the girls and boys, they both have to manage the houses, so there is a need to train the boys also to manage the home. Whatever the girls used to do earlier, now even the boys are using doing it, because they all are going out to work. The scenario has changed. Now, what is home science? Is it only about cooking, or is it only for the girls? These are the two myths people usually have. I remember when I appeared for an interview also, I was asked, you must be a good cook. Why? Because you are a home scientist or you have studied home science. But most of the people, even the school leaders, are confused about home science, because they also think that home science is only about cooking, which is not true. And it's not for girls. Unfortunately, we still do not have many colleges for the boys of home science, for the home science, but still colleges are thinking of introducing home science for the boys also. Maybe in the future we'll have the enrollment of boys in the colleges also, like we have the boys getting enrolled in home science in schools. Now these are the fashion design. This is the famous fashion designer Ritu Kumar, and she is also a home scientist. She pursued her fashion designing or the masters in textiles after doing her graduation in home science. And you can see this is the picture of an actual school where the boys are also working in the home science lab. So home science is not gender specific. Girls and boys both can get enrolled in home science, and there are numerous fields in which boys or the girls can go for after doing their graduation in home science or after studying home science in school. Now we talk about 21st century skills. We say that in the 21st century, we don't need the degrees. We need the skills. The government of India, and CBSE, NCRT, they are harping upon the skills, that there are so many skill subjects which have been introduced by CBSE for the children, so that they can become entrepreneurs or they can earn their own living. We are talking about the 21st century skills, which you can see on the screen. They are critical thinking. You have to think about whatever you are doing critically, and you have to be a critique, and you have to think out of the box. You have to be creative. So in home science, we are talking about artistic skills, we are talking about the design skills, we are talking about the color combinations, we are talking about the designs in the maybe space management, or in the furniture, or the rooms, interior decoration. So creativity gets enhanced. So, and when the children take home science, they have to do so many projects together. So they have to collaborate with each other, and they have to communicate with each other and work as a team to solve their problems. And information literacy, one field of home science talks about the community and extension, where people have to be approached. We have to contact people. We have to do some community based projects for which we need to have the information, and we need to spread that information. All these 21st century skills are a part of the home science subject. And these skills which we learn in home science will go a long way in making the children skilled in the future. They can open up their own ventures, and they can earn their living if they have studied home science and they pursue home science. People still feel that now their schools feel that children who cannot do maths and science, they should be given home science. It's not that. Home science should be an option which should be given to each and every child. When educators are not aware of home science importance, how can we expect the children to opt for a subject which is so required at today's time? So it teaches us about all the 21st century skills. So there is a need to introduce home science in the schools which still don't have, and it's important for everyone. Now, these are the skills based subjects which you can see, and they are all a part of home science. But if you do not want to take home science, you can go for the skill based subjects which will be talking only about a particular field of home science. For example, you can see the first subject, which is food production, which talks about recipe development, which talk about producing the food in the kitchen, which talks about baking, all the types of methods of cooking. Then we talk about healthcare, how to take care of your health, health and fitness, nutrition, all these are a part of home science. But these subjects which you see on the screen, they all are a part of home science. So if you want to learn about all these subjects, you can take home science. So home science is basically a combination of so many different fields. So you'll get to know which area is of your interest, and you can go for it in the future. So food production, healthcare, textile designing. We talk about design thinking these days. We talk about designing of footwear, designing of jewelry, designing of furniture. All these things, when your mind get conditions to work in that particular direction, you can design anything. But you need to have that spark in you. You need to have an interest in that. Foods and nutrition and dietetics. Nowadays, we have seen that we people are talking about the personal trainers. People are going to the dietitians. Why? Because of the lifestyle we have. Everybody is living a very stressful life these days, and the diet which we are taking, we are exposed to a lot of food which is junk, which is causing lot many lifestyle related problems. Lifestyle diseases are very common. So every second person you see is taking a particular kind of a diet, or is referring to, or is going to a dietitian for to get the diet plans. It's very very important for all of us, if we study home science in our schools, or if we have a little bit of knowledge in the right direction, because we are all dependent on Google. Instead of depending on Google for all these things like which kind of diet has to be taken, or visiting the dietitians, if we are taught the basics of foods and nutrition in our schools only, it will be very beneficial for the children. We all have seen the kind of clothes which we get in the market these days. So fashion studies is another field of home science which is now available on the CBSC has given you an option to go for fashion studies also. Everybody has to take care of their children. Early childhood care and education is another part which deals with the children of 2 to 7 years, or 0 to 7 years of age. So these 7, 8 subjects, skill subjects which you see on the screen, are a part of home science only. And You can go for them as a specialization, or you can go for a combination of these subjects and study home science in grade 11 and 12, because these subjects are the need of the hour. Government is saying that we have to have these skill subjects. CBSE is saying we need to have skill India plan. Government has started. CBSE has introduced skill subjects. Why? Because these days there are many children who want to go for some specific skills, or who want to do something on their own. But you can do these things only if you have skills in you. So these are the 5 fields of home science: foods and nutrition, fabric and apparel, human development, resource management, and development and extension. All these 5 fields are a part of home science. So home science is not only about cooking. We all need to know that if we all talk about food all the time, we talk about the clothes all the time, but we don't, the children still don't want to take home science because they feel home science is only about cooking. So they need to be told, or they need to be made familiar with the field, the importance of home science in today's scenario, so that they opt for this field. Still people have the craze of engineering and medical, but we have seen not the way the population is growing and the kind of competition we have in our country. Not everybody can engineer, they don't have aptitude also. And that is the reason children need to know that there is a subject which is available for them, and which opens not many venues for them in the future. They can make their career in home science. They may not take home science in the college level, but the basic understanding of the subject everyone should have. Now, these are the famous personality of who have studied home science in the colleges or at the school level. You can see in the picture that there is a dietitian, there is a chef, there is a model, and there is Miss India also on the screen. They all have done their home science from the Lady Haven College. I was asked a question by one of the students in my school that, ma'am, again you are telling us to opt for home science, but these are all ladies. So the things are changing. Now I have my students who have done the who have taken home science in the school and are doing interior designing. Some are doing this fashion designing. So children are getting aware, but there is a need to spread a word so that more and more people get enrolled in home science. These are the career opportunities which are available for the people or the children who take home science. You can become a teacher, you can go for research jobs. Now there are FMCG industries booming these days. So you can become a food scientist, you can become a nutritional consultant, you can do research, you can work in a food industry, you can become a fashion journalist. There are production jobs, fabric manufacturing, food preservatives, specialized cooking. We have seen in the COVID times, there are so many cloud kitchens we have seen which have opened up. There are so many restaurants, people have started their home bakeries, or there are so people who have started their own home business or small business, or like Mr. Modi says, vocal for local. So you can open up any local uh, scale industry, and you can make it, you can spread a word, and you can make it famous by using your skills. There are sales and services jobs, there are NGO jobs, there are technical jobs. So there is a plethora of opportunities which the children who study home science have. These jobs, children are not aware of all these opportunities which are waiting for them if they opt for home science, because they still have that in mind that home science is of cooking. There are college, these are the colleges of home science which are there in for the girls only. We are waiting that more and more colleges will open for the boys. Like we can see MS University in Vadodara is open to the boys too. GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology is open for boys too. Pantnagar University is also open for boys too. Indian School of Hospitality, we have Pusa Institute, we have IMT University Meerut and APCA in Gurugram. These are all the colleges or the programs or the diploma schools which are there for the boys also, but we need to spread about the opening of these boys colleges for home science for the boys who take up home science. Now this is a small video. I'll show you a small video which, just a sec, which tells us about what all is there in home science, what all we learn in home science. There's a small video, this one.
Ma'am, there is no audio for this video, ma'am. Is there any audio for this, Ms. Rachna?
That is all for home science.
Thank you, Ms. Rachna. If you can stop sharing your screen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So nice. Thanks for sharing the insights about this very special subject, ma'am. Yes, indeed, like it's very misunderstood that it's only for the female and not for the men. So the first question from the other speakers, ma'am, what inspired your passion for home science and how has it impacted your life?
See, when I was a child, my mother used to work in income tax department and she used to come very late in the evening. And she was finding it difficult to manage the home. So I thought I should do something so that I am able to balance my home as well as my career. So that's the reason I opted for home science.
Okay. Ma'am, if you can you adjust your camera a little bit? Let, yes, perfect. Yeah. So, ma'am, can you share a personal experience where applying home science principles made a significant difference in your life?
See, I've learned about the emotional development and the personality development of children in different stages of life. Like adolescence, it's very difficult for the parents to parent their children when they are in adolescent stage of life. Same problems I also faced, but since I had studied about adolescence in detail, I was able to manage my own daughter and I am able to manage my school kids also. I was a primary teacher, as I told you earlier. So
Mhm.
my the principal of my school was very hesitant in giving me an opportunity to teach the senior grades, because she thought that you have taught only the primary grades. How will you be able to manage the senior kids? But I assured her that I'll be able to manage because I know how to deal with the adolescents also. And then yes, she took my demo and I was given this opportunity.
Nice.
And now I am a full-fledged home science teacher, and I'm going for corrections also for the boards, and I am doing everything related to home science.
Great. So,
Managing the events also in the school.
great to know, ma'am. How should one stay updated on the latest research and trends in home science now?
See, one has to keep reading the newspaper. The best way to keep oneself updated is read the newspapers only. Because earlier home science was not included in the best four subjects. Now though we don't, it doesn't matter whether it is included or not. But earlier home science was not included in the this best of four subjects. But now it's included. So children will only come to know about it when the teachers are updated. Because till now the home science group of the group of teachers of home science we have, they keep on asking whether it is included in best 4 or not, and the children keep on asking us. So the only way to keep yourself updated is that you have to read and you have to be active on social media also these days,
Right. So, ma'am,
and
how
the
can
way
we
we are interacting. Yeah.
Yes. So how can we increase awareness about the importance of home science among younger generations? We have this, how can we break the myth of like this is for women only, this is for girls only? So how can we bring about this awareness in the younger generations?
See, it's a very difficult task because even if the children take home science in grade 11 and 12, unfortunately, we do not have many colleges for the boys. So the first thing which we need to do is we have to have the universities have to open up colleges for the boys also, or introduce. Like I spoke to the director of Lady Evan College. I took my children to Lady Evan College few 2 years back, and a ma'am told me that you have to encourage the boys also to take home science. So I told her that, ma'am, first we have to introduce home science for the boys also, and I think they are thinking about introducing this for the boys also in the colleges. Till the time
Nice.
the universities have courses for the boys, it's very difficult to get the boys enrolled in home science.
I understand. So, ma'am, talking about the equality and the subject should be for both men and women. What are some innovative ways to integrate home science into community development projects?
Community development projects. Okay, like home science may we are learning so many skills like the baking skills. Children learn, they learn about baking, so we can bake cookies and all, and we can have charity events for the children, or we can have a bake sale in the schools where the money which will be collected can go for any NGO or any organization one can be associated with. Or we can have some workshops on tie and dye. Children can produce their own make their own t-shirts, which we did in school also.
Mhm.
Then we have just done a workshop on tie and dye. Children made their t-shirt, they dyed their t-shirts on their own, and they can be sold also, and the money can go for charity.
Nice. So, ma'am, how can home science principles be applied to improve mental health and well-being in families?
We all are living a life which is stressful these days, so one has to know how what kind of how to deal with the stress management, like to keep healthy, what one has to do, how to manage the time. We all are living a stressful life. Why? Because we are not able to manage. So how to manage stress, or how to manage your time, how to manage your finances, this is what we are taught in home science. If one learns to do that, there will be no less stress. I won't say no stress, but there will be less stress and people will be happier.
So, ma'am, in your view, what do you think uh, can be the potential collaboration can happen between the home science professionals and other disciplines?
Okay. Home science is a combination of so many other subjects. It is somewhat related to business studies because children think of their business ideas in BST, and in home science also we talk about it. We talk about financial management, which is a part of economics. So it is interdisciplinary again, because there are certain things which we talk to the children and they tell me, ma'am, we have done this in economics also. Psychology also it is related, because we talk about human behavior, we talk about human development, and they are learning the same thing in psychology. Same way goes for physical education. Children are learning about the this development of different types, like how physical development we are talking about, the cognitive, emotional, all these types of development. So it is related to VST, it is related to economics, it is related to the physical education, and it is related to economics, or sorry, psychology also.
Coming to the challenges, ma'am, what are the significant challenges facing home science professionals in implementing sustainable practices?
Sustainable practices.
Mm.
Okay. See, in home science, we may refurbish certain things, like we have old saris. We can with our designing, with skills, with our creativity, we can convert them into a new, maybe a new dress. So this can be a sustainable thing. You are making best out of waste articles can be used,
Mhm.
and even the leftover food which we have, we can make new dishes from that. Like if we have leftover rice at night, we can use them for making fried rice in the morning, or we can make cutlets out of them. We can innovate certain things so that there is zero wastage.
No. Last but not the least, ma'am, uh, how does home science education empower individuals, especially the younger generation in today's society?
They get skilled and they can open up their new ventures and they become empowered. They know how to manage, like if they have to manage any event, we are having these event organizers these days. So they can, because we learn so many things, that we can learn to manage the events also. You can become an event manager, so you get empowered. You can earn your own when you start earning on your own, you become empowered because people start respecting you. These days we have so many children, like most of the schools have children with special needs these days, and most of them are given the choice of home science, and they get empowered when they think that yes, I know something, and I will also be able to do certain things, because home science is basically skill based subject only. So they get empowered when they feel that yes, we also can do something, and when they start earning.
Well explained, ma'am. Thank you for the talk and for patiently answering all the questions. We also thank the audience. I would say audience because like the speakers have sent a couple of questions, though they couldn't enter the meeting room and participating in the event. We will end the session now, ma'am. Before ending it, you want to mention anything else?
Thank you so much for inviting me, and I hope I was able to do justice to the topic.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. I'll stop the recording.